What's up, guys? Frugal BC got some really interesting Hedera news today. We got a deep dive from Leemon Baird on the time aspect of Hedera. I think is really interesting. Hedera joining the same blockchain governing body as Algorand. We'll look at that today. Joe Rogan mentioning Karate Combat, which is a Hedera affiliated property. We'll look at what he had to say. And Algorand and Hedera, I think is there now going to be a battle for the airways? We'll look at that. We'll dive into that, all that today on today's Frugal BC. By the way, guys, if you like this kind of stuff, love it if you'd hit that like and subscribe button. And remember, you don't have to smash it. You can just press it gently. Also, I want to give a short shout out to our sponsors since this is a non-Algorand video. Big thanks to Non-Fungible Domains for that .algo address, and to Fractal Monsters. Get your own free monster and play it today with Fractal Monsters. But to the show, a lot of cool stuff. I really want to get into that airway battle. We're going to do that at the end of the video, but starting off with Leemon Baird diving into time clock aspect of Hedera. I think this is really interesting and kind of hard to explain in a really brief manner, so let's just dive into it. Before we do that though, actually let's look at the Hedera price today. Yeah, so not so great. I'm actually going to pull up the 7-day here. Yeah, we've really dropped a lot in the 7-day. We were up close to 12 cents and we're down to about 10 cents. Dropped just about to that exact 10-cent line. But, you know, it's not unusual. The rest of the crypto industry is kind of doing the same right now, so not much to say about that other than, yeah, not great. Market cap still 37, doing much better than Algorand right now, which has actually dropped into the 60s at one point. I think it's back into the high 50s, but yeah, just not a lot of excitement in the price action for a lot of cryptos right now. It's just not been going well in that direction, but I'm sure we'll be popping up shortly. But I want to pop right into this story about Leemon Baird here, which I think is a really interesting statement. Leeman's a very interesting guy. I'd love to talk to him someday, and I like that he's out front. He's talking to the people. I know a lot of people in the Algorand community would like to see Silvio talk a lot more, Silvio McCauley, but you know, in Hedera you got Leemon, and he's not silent online. Here's what he had to say. It says, "I discussed the issues of galactic timekeeping in a video a few years ago. The hashgraph algorithm works very well to give consensus timestamps that are reasonable, even if the nodes are spread across the galaxy." Of course, very interesting. Those on Earth will use UTCs, those on the moon can use LTC, and those in other star systems can have their own systems. So he's like actually, oh, this is like super interesting because he's actually talking about what it would be like. Compared to the other side of the galaxy, we will say their clocks are running slower than ours, and they will say that our clocks are running slower than theirs. And we will disagree on the order of things happening in the universe. And according to special relativity, we're both right. But Hashgraph will create a kind of a universal clock with a guaranteed universal ordering of everything that happens. It actually overcomes the problems of relativity for a galaxy-wide civilization. That is just fascinating. I like this like universal time clock here. It's super interesting. So I read Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy and came to understand that the secret to the universe was 42. It actually turns out it's Hedera, so that's kind of cool. Yeah, I just thought that was an interesting little thing to look at, but let's go to the next item, which happens to be Hedera joining the Australian blockchain organization, the same one that Algorand is actually a part of as well. So why don't we just take a look at this little piece of news. We are excited to announce that Hedera has become a member of Australia's leading blockchain industry body, Blockchain Australia. Is that pronouncing that right? Yep, Blockchain Australia, joining Algo Foundation, Binance, Coinbase, MasterCard, and other leading institutions at the forefront of Web3. And nice to see a little shout out. In fact, Algorand Foundation itself says, "Welcome Hedera," which is pretty cool. Did they all respond? Let me see. Because I don't know if you guys might remember, okay, it's just some BS underneath it. You guys might remember that Hedera and Algorand are kind of the first two members in this DREC alliance, which is decentralized recovery, the idea of making Web3 more usable because you can fast way to recover your assets if they're lost with that's decentralized, but also is still not like it is now, where if you lose it, you're kind of screwed, you know. The whole thing, everyone's seen those videos of people who all their Bitcoin was on a hard drive that's in the dump somewhere and they're trying to look for it because there's millions of dollars on that. No one wants to be in that situation, and that's one of the partnerships between Hedera and Algorand. Not to toot my own horn, but I guess I will. I was the first one to report that Hedera and Algorand were talking behind the scenes, that Leemon Baird and John Allen Woods were discussing some of this stuff I wasn't the first to break the story, the actual details of what it was, but I was the first to point that out, and I thought that was pretty cool. We had John Woods on the show, and he kind of dropped that bomb on the show, which was pretty cool. I brought up Hedera because I always thought they were I always thought there was some kind of link between the two. It's hard to explain what exactly because they are very different in a lot of ways, but something philosophically felt similar between the two chains, and maybe it's the fact that they're really focused on real world assets about solving actual problems and not just kind of being a meme. Anyway, I thought that was pretty neat, and nice to see Algorand and Hedera getting along. One of the coolest things I think that I've seen from Hedera is their partnership with Karate Combat. And what I like about it is, first off, I like Karate Combat's run really well. I like the way the fights go. I think it's designed to be watchable, which I really like. There's some ways I almost like it more than the UFC, even though I personally like the grappling sports myself, mostly because I don't want to get punched in the face. But it is pretty cool to watch Karate Combat. I think it's well done, and well, it turns out it's actually getting the attention of Joe Rogan now, who is one of the main commentators of the UFC. Let's take a look at this. Appreciate the love, Joe Rogan and Din Thomas, says Karate Combat. When you have legends of the sport excited for a matchup like Joe Schilling and Luke Rockhold, you know you're doing the right thing. It's even better for fans who'll be able to watch this event free on YouTube, which is really cool, by the way. It's cool that you can just pop it on and watch it. Or catch the action at the biggest fight library in the world, UFC Fight Pass. Oh, so they're actually putting them on UFC Fight Pass afterwards. That's interesting. On April 20th, don't miss this epic showdown inside the pit. Get your tickets now in the link in our bio. It says, catch me at the next Karate Combat, man. Joe Schilling and Luke Rockhold, Dubai. This happened April 20th. So I think that's kind of cool. Of course, I'm being a little silly by suggesting this will lead to Joe Rogan becoming a Hedera fan, which would be huge for Hedera. I doubt he's been pretty crypto skeptical for the most part. He's had some crypto people on. I don't know if he's done that in a long time, but he had kind of like a Bitcoin maxi on a long time ago, and I bought the guy's book and it was awful. It was he just took transcripts from some of his YouTube videos and turned them into a book. It was pretty bad, but yeah, I think that's interesting. I like seeing Karate Combat get that kind of mention. I think Karate Combat's great, and I like the way Hedera's, it's not just a sponsor, but they're bring up these stats and they're powered by Hedera. So you actually get, you actually have the blockchain being used in the sport. It's not just actually recording results, putting them to the blockchain, or Hashgraph, I guess I should say. Yeah, the Hedera people are going to be out with the pitchforks now. Anyway, good for Hedera, and I think Karate Combat's great. Let's move on to the last item, which is the battle for the airways. I know I've talked about TravelX on Algorand, minting airline tickets as NFTs. Kind of a cool use case, and it's brought a lot of transactions to the Algorand blockchain, but let's see what's going on with Hashgraph, because it looks like they got their own play here. Travel is disrupting online travel with unprecedented levels of usability, security, and scalability thanks to Hedera, enabling us to build trust, foster seamless transactions for our subscribers, their customers, and vendors worldwide. Wow, let's take a look here. Let's see what the crypto news says here. Transforming travel booking. eTravel seeks to be the Shopify of the travel industry, offering white label solutions that solve complex payment and data issues in the $11 trillion industry. It leverages the Hedera blockchain to offer scalable, secure, usable solutions, including automating some of the critical processes such as commission payments. I really want them to get to the actual industry, blah, 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 blah. Some of a handful of centralized servers, you need to change this. But like what? It just says travel industry. Okay, it describes its platform as an operating system for travel that unites travel professionals, inventory providers, and travelers on one decentralized platform. It's supposed to be like the Shopify of travel, so like a white label solution any stakeholder can customize to fit their needs. Zini, any participant, including retail service providers who are often overbooked, can launch their own booking engine. So it's like, yeah, kind of like having your own booking engine, I guess. That's kind of interesting. Not quite the same, and obviously it's quite a bit different than, okay, here, Booking Engine is an online platform that processes users' reservations for hotels, airlines, or the other service throughout the entire travel cycle. So it's not exactly the same as TravelX, which on Algorand, which is specifically for airline tickets. This is like kind of booking for probably like kind of a replacement for Expedia and all that other kind of stuff. That's pretty cool too, though. Cool that it sounds like it's a turnkey solution, requires no coding skills, so basically turn it on and go, and allow people to compete with the Expedias of the world, which I think is really awesome. So you could actually see, about it, you could book through this Zini, a platform built on Zini, and then get your airline ticket from X Travel, Flybondi or one of the other ones. There you go. You got your whole travel was on the blockchain. That's pretty neat. Cool things today. I like news like this, real world asset kind of stuff. And otherwise, yeah, thanks guys for tuning in. I think we had covered some pretty cool stuff today. Again, like and subscribe if you haven't already, because that really helps us. It helps you guys. Helps crypto get the word out about crypto too. Otherwise, I'm Frugal BC. Stay safe out there, and I will see you in the future.